finally. Craig Bolerjack, Ryan Neese.
Rob, thanks, and a big welcome to rainy Norman, Oklahoma. Yes, fans have waited through a 90-minute lightning delay, and we're ready to play on Fox Sports 1. Welcome to the Ford Fox Sports 1 College Football pregame, sponsored by the Ford F-Series, built Ford Tough. From the Big 12, it's Kansas and the Sooners of Oklahoma. Craig Bolerjack, he's Ryan Neese. So glad you're alongside, glad you waited with us. 90-minute lightning delay here in Norman, Oklahoma, but we're ready to play football. Let's talk about OU because the Sooners are fighting through some injuries at quarterback, but Bob Stoops, his focus today, especially with this rain, is about running the football.
Well, it is because Cody Thomas last week, he struggled with the passing game. They have to carry the young quarterback with the run game, and it starts with Samaje Perine. He is a special talent, a phenom at the running back position. They lead the Big 12 on his shoulders. He carries the football. He's explosive and a very physical runner. And what makes him such a dynamic runner, Craig, is his ability to burst through the hole.
KU nearly shocked the college football world last week. They just came up short, 4 points short of knocking off fifth-ranked TCU.
Well, and it starts with Michael Cummings at the quarterback position. He's been playing with a lot of confidence this year, and last week he definitely showed his talents, both running the football and throwing. He had over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and he ran for a touchdown. If he has confidence and he can run with the football, watch out for this offense to put up some points.
Kansas did dominate TCU for nearly 3 quarters last week, but Rock Chalk Jayhawk fell short of a major upset against the Horned Frogs. Oklahoma, they had a scare in Lubbock, but the Sooners ran at will in the second half, and they escaped the Lone Star State with a win over Tech. KU, they hope to keep the mojo rolling in Norman. So does OU. Kansas, Oklahoma, next on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 college football is presented by Kay Jewelers. Rain, thunder, multiple lightning strikes greeted Norman, Oklahoma earlier this morning, forcing a 90-minute game delay. But we're going to play football finally here in Norman, Oklahoma. Kansas in town to take on the Sooners. We look at the weather forecast. 80% chance of continued showers, and it's going to be a gusty day. Winds at 17 miles an hour. This will be Clint Bowen's 7th game as the interim head coach at Kansas. Took over for Charlie Weiss right after week 4. No secret, the former Jayhawk wants the job full time. His counterpart, Bob Stoops, 16-year veteran at Oklahoma. There's talk Florida has some interest. Stoops told us, I'm a Sooner. So the crowd fired up. And the rain continues to fall.
It continues to fall, and these players have to understand how to weather this type of weather and be able to prepare themselves for a physical battle. And it's going to start on the ground. In this type of weather, Craig, the advantage goes to the team that understands how to react.
Kansas won the toss, deferred. OU will receive, and the dangerous Alex Ross. He's returned 2 kicks for touchdowns. Week 4 against West Virginia, week 7 against Texas. Pardula with the kick in the range, short. They'll take a bounce inside the 15-yard line. It's Alex Ross, hole up the middle, watch out. Breaks the tackle and bangs his way past the 45 to start this football game. A return of 36 yards.
Well, Alex Ross, he's one of the special talents as a return man. He has 2 touchdowns on the year, and anytime you give him that much space, they're lucky. Kansas is lucky right there. That wasn't a big return, but that's a great way for Oklahoma to start the game. Excellent field position for the young quarterback.
Cassius Sendish with the special teams tackle to save it at midfield. They're going to spot the ball at the 46-yard line, and Cody Thomas will quarterback. He'll line up in the gun. 1st and 10 Sooners. Keith Ford gets the first carry, and he's chopped down after a loss at 2. 3 things you need to know about Oklahoma.
Well, no surprise, that first play was a run play. They lead the Big 12 in rushing. They have to get back to what they do. That's their bread and butter. And it starts with Samaje Perine, a special talent, a phenom at the running back position. A number of touches he needs today. And Sterling Shepard, he's an explosive wide receiver. Hopefully he's back on the field after a groin injury he's sustained earlier in the year.
Yeah, just 10 touches last week in that comeback win against Texas Tech. They go back to Ford. He missed, remember, 4 games earlier this season. He was injured in week 3 against Tennessee, a leg injury. And there is Sterling Shepard, a Biletnikoff semifinalist. Again, had the groin problem against Iowa State. 6 snaps. Let's see how long he can last.
In this type of weather, you have to be very careful. Your legs have to be underneath you, and a groin injury, they're hard to recover from.
Thomas takes a glance to the sideline as the rain falls in Norman. Keith Ford still in the backfield. Play clock at 5 on a 3rd down and 6. Ford tries to push the pile, but he's going to be 2 yards shy of a 1st down. Courtney Arnick, the weak side linebacker for Kansas, made the stop, number 28.
It's 4th down. Kansas, they played smart defense, fundamentally sound. They tackled, they rallied to the football, and they were physical. Oklahoma came out and said, hey, we're going to try to pound it down your throat with 3 run plays. Kansas did an excellent job getting off the football field and now giving the ball back to their offense.
Jed Barnett will punt back at his 41-yard line. Isaiah Johnson awaits the kick. A high hanger in the rain. He lets it go. And the ball is going to be marked down just inside the 15-yard line. Make it the 11. Well, Ryan, tell me 3 things you need to know about Kansas.
Well, obviously, Coach Bowen has taken the head coaching job. He's auditioning for this opportunity. Their team's playing at a high level since he's taken over. And it starts with Tony Pearson. I mean, they got to continue to give him touches. He's the most explosive player, plays running back and wide receiver. And then Jermaine Medine, a special talent. He leads the country as one of the top Power 5 tight ends, a special talent. If he can get touches today, Craig, he can create a number of mismatches. I expect him to get a lot of balls thrown his way.
Kansas starts their first drive on the 11-yard line. From the gun, Cummings. Handoff, nice cutback. Tony Pearson, what a story. Started as a wide receiver. He was a high school running back. And then Clint Bowen told us simply this. Look, he's the best athlete I've got on the field. I got to get him touches, and they make the switch to running back.
Obviously, they're trying to use him in a number of different ways. At running back, at wide receiver. And at the end of the day, they just want him with the ball in his hands because he can make things happen.
2nd down and 5. 3 wide receivers near side. They run that little option. Cummings on a keeper. He'll lose a yard on the play, and it brings up 3rd down. Stryker and company in on the tackle. Cummings a wide load at 210. I think he goes 230. 3 straight games with over 275 yards through the air.
And I would agree with you, Craig. He's a big boy. And when he runs with the football, he's not afraid of contact either. He'll lower the pads, and any guy that can lower the pads like that, you know he's got a little size behind him.
Pearson alongside Cummings on 3rd down and 6. 3-step drop, swings it near side, and he's out of bounds. And there's a flag out. Nick Hartwell, the intended receiver, but he was out of bounds. And a flag is out, the first of the afternoon. Here's Dan Romeo, our referee.
Pass interference. Offense, number 19. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's on the senior wide receiver, Justin McKay. And so now we'll have Kansas pump this ball away. And what do you know? Sterling Shepard's going to give it a go on a punt return. He is so dangerous. Pardula at his own goal line, set to punt. The left footer bangs it away. Good punt. At the 40-yard line, Shepard, stutter step, chest sack groin early, and he's inside Kansas territory at the 49-yard line. We will see OU's ground game. Mr. Perine and company. Sooners with the football. Scoreless in Norman. Fox Sports 1 college football is presented by Kay Jewelers back in Norman, Oklahoma. Trainers are surrounding Sterling Shepard, and I'll tell you why. Let's take you back to that punt return.
Well, obviously he catches the punt, and all of a sudden he tries to do the return. He's moving laterally, and looks like he tweaked it again. All of a sudden, he's hurt. And in that slick field, extremely challenging position and a risky play to put the young man back on the football field in these conditions.
Perine gets the carry. Big break. 20. Perine, 5. Touchdown, Oklahoma. "49 yards for the freshman out of Pflugerville, Texas. Ryan, the young man, can move. 243 pounds, hit the edge, and Kansas had no chance as Honeycutt will try the PAT and splits the uprights. And just like that, Oklahoma, through the rain comes Perine, 49 yards. Hit that edge, and he's gone. 49, and OU on top by 7. A 49-yard touchdown, significant 15th rushing touchdown this season, and I tell you, he's in great company. He ties Adrian Peterson's freshman record here at Oklahoma.
As soon as this wide receiver comes in to seal, the corner has to replace. But all of a sudden, the corner gets a little bit lost right there, and that's Shepard 24, and they steal that corner. And when Shepard's not there to replace and fill that opportunity to come up and make that tackle, Perine is off to the races. You've got to understand your keys. You've got to understand what you're doing defensively and be able to execute. And if you don't, Oklahoma's run game, they will hurt you.
Five yards deep, no return for Kansas. Well, the freshman phenoms, well, Adrian Peterson was an unbelievable collegiate player. Perine, 181 carries, over 1,000 yards, nearly 6 yards a touch, 15 touchdowns. All you can say is, wow, impressive.
I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, and what's even more impressive, when you talk to the coaches, it's how he carries himself off the field. He's a straight-A student. He takes great pride in the classroom, great pride in his training, great pride in the weight room. And he's going to be a special talent for a long time here at the University of Oklahoma.
You know, I said, wow, there is a wow factor. He walked in the weight room, and the seniors were a little amazed at his physical appearance. Tony Pearson gets the carry. Just got past the 25-yard line. Ndulue, number 98, Chukwu, the right end with the tackle. Call his number quite a bit today. Senior out of Dallas.
And Ndulue has been playing at a high level all year long. The coaches said he is the most consistent defensive lineman they have, and that's why you see him in the backfield. He's disruptive, uses his hands really well, and gets off the football.
Four wide receivers set now as Cummings is alone in the backfield. He'll take the snap from the gun. Once the throw does, soft underneath, first down, and the catch made by that tight end, Jameer Mundine. 41 receptions now in the season. He had 7 catches last week in that near upset against TCU, and Ryan a pickup of 11.
And he's not a big tight end. He's only 6'2", 240 pounds. But he's a smart football player, understands how to use leverage, and we saw him demonstrate it right there. He got an open space and gave his quarterback a target.
Corey Avery, number 6, a true freshman out of Dallas, checks in. On a rollout, Cummings. And smartly tries to throw that ball away. And luckily, a couple yards over there about the Kansas bench. It falls incomplete, and again, pressure off the edge by big number 98, Ndulue. There's Clint Bowen, interim head coach, took over for Charlie Weiss. I'd say he is Mr. Kansas. Defensive coordinator, moved up to interim head coach. A Lawrence, Kansas native, play at Lawrence High School, was a Jayhawk defensive back. The dream job, but will he get it full time?
Well, his team's playing well.
Pearson trying to find the edge, but a stiff arm won't get him there. He's knocked out 41-yard lines. Quentin Hayes after the 1-yard gain.
Anytime you see a play get strung all the way out like that to the sideline, it's a demonstration of the speed on defense. The players did an excellent job stringing the running back all the way to the sideline and rallying to the football and taking him down. Might have been a horse collar right there.
Well, that's kind of the definition of, as Avery's taken down, we got a player down, and that's the strong safety, Hayes, who just made that tackle.
And Hayes has been battling injuries all year long,
yes.
And the freshman Stephen Parker came in last week for a start. Hopefully this isn't another nagging injury, and it's not a severe injury.
Out of Lancaster, Texas, active when on the field, 47 tackles, 3 sacks and a pick this season. For Mike Stoops, defensive coordinator. We'll take an injury timeout. Sooners up early, 7-0 on Kansas. Never liked that picture. Quentin Hayes, no pressure on his right leg as he gets helped off the field. Stephen Parker, the freshman, will take over at the strong safety. That brings up 3rd and 9 now for Kansas. Cummings from the shotgun. Looks to his right now. Flush from the pocket. Has run ability. Looks to be short of the first down at the 46. And he's taken down by Stryker, the left outside linebacker. That's a linebacker name, by the way. Eric Stryker.
And he plays like a linebacker, an aggressive linebacker. He flies around, makes plays, very physical off the edge, can rush a passer, a special talent. But Cummings, he went through his progressions, saw that nobody was open, tucked the ball, and almost got the first down. But Stryker, with his athleticism and his speed, was able to track down the quarterback and bring him down.
Pardula in for the second time to punt the ball away right at his own 31-yard line. With Shepard injured, Zach Sanchez jumps in. We got a ball through the hands of Pardula. He didn't hit the deck to try to recover, and Stryker is on top of it at the 20-yard line.
Well, those aren't the miscues that you want when you're on the road. You're playing against a very talented Oklahoma team. And this is a slick ball. When it's wet like this in these conditions, you have to concentrate. A bad snap, a little bit high. And Pardula wasn't able to secure the catch, and then he doesn't try to recover the fumble. He's a little passive about it. Stryker wastes no time. He knows what he's going to do with it. He's all over it.
You know, and Stryker hit the knee there of Pardula as well on that fumble recovery, and you can see he was hobbling off the field after that play. And now Oklahoma will come back with Keith Ford in the backfield alongside Cody Thomas, who's in for the injured Trevor Knight. Straight ahead running. Courtney Arnick with the tackle for Kansas. Ross, a 221-pound sophomore. Perine goes 243, and Keith Ford 206. What a trio of backs for Bob Stoops. In that diamond formation, Ford right behind Thomas on 2nd down and 7. He'll get the call off the left side. Finds a seam, it closes. Ball's out. And Kansas will recover at the 8-yard line.
And I think that was Ben Henne. Fought off the lead block, was able to scrape across and knock that ball out. And that's what this defense needed. They needed to create a turnover, get the possession back, and find a way to respond. And they did an excellent job being physical to point of contact. You watch Henne, 31 right there. He's going to scrape off and try to get his arm in there right in the last second. Causes the fumble, and that's why he's one of the top linebackers in the Big 12.
TJ Simke, number 35, right on top of the ball. It's wet out there, no question. And now can Kansas take advantage of the turnover of Oklahoma? Corey Avery in the backfield for the Jayhawks, and now a timeout called. Kansas wants a timeout. 8:30 to play, opening quarter. Rain continues to fall in Norman, Oklahoma. Welcome back. Let's check out keys of the game. Brought to you by Kay Jewelers. And Ryan, you didn't make these up, did you?
No, we studied this, studied a lot of film all week, and we came up with these things the other day. And they have to create turnovers. Kansas, they obviously just demonstrated that. Oklahoma, they have to continue to pound the rock. They lead the Big 12 for a reason. And both of these teams have to block out the weather. They have to concentrate, play fundamentally sound football today.
We saw that 49-yard run by Perine, and now the turnover. Let's see if Kansas can take advantage. Tony Pearson, patient, trying to work behind his front line, and he'll pick up 3, maybe 4, up to the 14-yard line. They give him 3 yards. Alexander and Devontae Bond with the stop for OU. Cummings last week, wow, against TCU, 19 of 37, career high, 332 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And as all the coaches tell us, Ryan, it's simple. He's gaining maturity, gaining confidence, and also gaining confidence in making decisions.
That's the one thing that they really respect about him is his decisiveness. As a quarterback, you have to make quick decisions and make them soundly to put your offense in the right situation.
Play clock just got the snap away, and that's a keeper by Cummings. That may have been a play blown up by OU. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. You look at what's happened since Bowen took over for Charlie Weiss. You get the improvement in pass yards, rush yards, and penalty yards are down. They're staying aggressive, but the flags come out, but not as costly.
They're not as costly, but it comes back again to Michael Cummings and his ability to have confidence and command of this offense. He's throwing the ball around. He continues to put up big numbers week in and week out. That's what you need.
Jayhawks need 6 to keep this drive alive. In and out of the hands. It falls incomplete. Rodriguez Coleman, the intended receiver. Jordan Thomas there on the coverage. Coleman rarely thrown to, Ryan. Just 2 receptions on the season. He's a transfer out of Garden City Community College, but Cummings again went through the progression, and that ball should have been caught.
And if you're barely thrown to and the ball comes your way against Oklahoma, on a 3rd down, you got to make that catch. I know it's wet, and I know the ball's slick. But that's an opportunity right there for the young man to secure that catch and give his offense a 1st down.
Pardula will punt from his own end zone. Sanchez awaits. He gets away from it and gets a big Jayhawk bounce inside the 35, down to the 30. Now they're going to mark it out at the 33-yard line. There's Clint Bowen. He loves it. He's a Jayhawk through and through. We did get a late start here in Norman, but we've got a full day of college football. Rivalries continue later. Stanford battles Cal here on Fox Sports 1. Then on Fox, Oklahoma State up against 7th-ranked Baylor. The action continues at 4 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Trevor Knight, he liked to be taking snaps for Oklahoma, out with a neck injury. He went out late in the 4th quarter, November 8th against Baylor. And right now the ball belongs to Cody Thomas, a redshirt freshman. Perine corralled and knocked down by Jake Love, the weak side Wolves linebacker. He'll lose a yard. Cody Thomas, you talked about it, Ron. He struggled last week, and there was some talk, hey, run the football with this young guy. He threw 3 first-half picks, and then Oklahoma went crazy. They ran for 384 yards last week.
Well, they got back to the basics and continued to run the ball. That's what they do. That's their bread and butter. Cody's got to have a better game today.
Sets up that screen on the hands of Perine. Hits the edge, 1st down. Boy, he rocks his way to near midfield. Heaney took him on straight up, and a pickup of 19 yards.
And that's how you soften up the defense. They've been overloading the box, playing for the run, and they set up a screen. And one of the things that I made a note of, Craig, was Samaje Perine. He's a special player when he in the screen game, and he demonstrated right there. He has very good hands, secured the catch, and followed his blockers.
11th reception of the year, and he took on the best middle linebacker, one of the best in the Big 12. Ben Heaney. 1st down and 10 OU. Thomas flies one, and just through the hands, it's incomplete at the 30-yard line. Deron Neal was the intended receiver, and what do you know? There he is, the Boz. You know, not a lot of people will just know him by their first name. You know, you're known as the Niece, but that's the Boz.
Hey, that's a special young man. I say young man because that's the way I view him back in his day when he was making plays on this football field as a linebacker. One of the most gifted linebackers of all time in college football.
Well, he could fly around and inflict pain, no doubt. Clock's under 6 minutes in this opening quarter. Play fake, the keeper, Thomas, tries a wiggle for a first down. He's going to be short at the 41-yard line. And a gain of 8.
We talked about this in the open. You know, last week the coaches were surprised about Cody Thomas's ability to run the football, and they're going to continue to mix him in a little bit more, allow him to get in the open space. And Craig, anytime you have a quarterback that can run the football as a dual threat, that is a challenge for any defense in the country. Kansas has to be on alert.
Third down conversions just 9th in the Big 12. Let's see if they can punch it past the first down marker, and they do with Perine behind the left guard, Adam Shedd. So that offensive line is big. A gain of 4, and a hat is off. That means Shedd's going to have to run to the sideline and take the play off. Well, here's that O-line. Average weight, nearly 328. Think about feeding these guys at dinner. The lightest of the 5 is Darlington at 286.
Darlington, he's a quick center, very physical, and that's a big offensive line.
Ford is chopped down. Heaney right on his ankles, but yeah. Tyrus Thompson, 336. Shedd, 339. Deontay Savage, 343. And Darrell Williams, the right tackle, and a captain, goes 334.
Well, they have a stable of running backs, but the reason that they lead the Big 12 is because of that offensive line. You see the size, you see the mass, but they are a nasty. They get after you and maul you at the offensive line position.
High snap taken down. Ford trapped behind the line of scrimmage. Isaiah Johnson, Jake Love broke through and team up to make the stop. Right now, Ryan, looks like the only running back for OU that can break through that front of Kansas is Mr. Freshman, Samaje Perine.
And he did that because of a miscue on Kansas's part. You know, defensively they didn't execute, and he took advantage of it. Right now, Kansas is making plays, and they're being physical and in the right gaps at the right time.
They're down and 10. Stepping in the pocket, the ball floats up in traffic, and it's incomplete. Got a flag. 1, 2 flags are down inside the 10-yard line. It was interesting. He had 2 receivers crossing in front of one another, Neal and Young, and Thomas floated that ball up for really grabs.
They ran a post pattern. It's going to be defensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 12. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's the senior out of Kansas City, Dexter McDonald.
And Dexter McDonald is a very talented cornerback, and you're going to see him on the right side of your screen against number 1. He grabs the jersey, holds right there, and I honestly think that could have been defensive holding versus pass interference. That ball wasn't catchable. He overthrew him by a long shot. Cody Thomas has to settle down and start putting the ball in the numbers.
Perine's back on the field for Oklahoma. First down at the 22. Handoff. Little slow developing. Perine knocked down by Love after a pickup of 1. How about impact players defensively for Kansas?
Ben Heaney, the linebacker, he's a special talent. He makes plays all over the football field. He already caused a turnover today. He's going to be very active against his run game. And Cassius Sindish at the safety position, you can see him as well in the run game. They dropping him down in the box. There's 8 players in the box almost every single snap for Kansas to try to stop this run game.
Sindish had 10 tackles last week against TCU. Second down 9, Oklahoma. Thomas in the pocket, throws, corner, up top, and overthrows. Micaiah Quick, the intended receiver, and guess who they went after? Sindish. That stops the clock. Third down and 9, and Thomas is floating the ball right now.
When you're playing in these type of conditions, you're trying to get a really good grip on the football, and he grabs the laces right there. He has a unique delivery, too. I mean, it's a long sidearm, and he whips his arm around, and right now he's just overthrowing the football. He's not planting his foot and throwing strikes.
Oklahoma 1 of 2, converting third downs. They need 9 to keep this drive alive. 2:56 to play, up by 7. They set up a screen, no. And he throws it away. He tried to set up a little bubble screen. Kansas read it well, and it brings up 4th down.
No, that's the only play that's been successful in the passing game is the screen. It's the reason they have 19 yards in the passing game. They ran the screen earlier. Kansas was all over it. They sniffed that one out and shut it down.
That brings in Michael Honeycutt, all-time school leader, 431 points. His longest is 53. His longest this season, 44. And this will be officially a 39-yard attempt. Off the far hash. The kick's up. And good. From 39. Honeycutt splits the uprights in Oklahoma on their home field. They lead by 10. Well, Ryan, tonight the UFC returns to Fox Sports 1 for an epic night of bouts, including a huge featherweight showdown between third-ranked Frankie Edgar and second-ranked Cub Swanson. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1, and you can catch it streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Some rain gear comes in handy today here in Norman.
Well, the entire stadium is covered with individuals. I love to see the turnout. You can tell how passionate these fans are to come cheer this team on, Oklahoma Sooners, in these type of conditions. Impressive.
You saw the Schooner Sooner. Couldn't get on the field. It'd leave a run or two. As much rain as this field's taken. Oklahoma leading by 10. Kick it away. No return out of the back of the end zone. So a touchback. And how about it's time for a Lowe's Never Stop Improving game break. And for the first time, let's check in and say hello to Greg Wolf.
All right, thank you. Let's go to the Horseshoe. Number 6, Ohio State. Huge favorites over Indiana, but nobody told the Hoosiers. Tevin Coleman, second nationally in rushing behind only Melvin Gordon, breaks free for 90 yards here in Indiana. Leads number 6, Ohio State 20-14. Craig, Ryan, back to you.
Oh, I tell you, this time of year, who knows what happens in college football. Great breakaway speed on that touchdown. Kansas down 10 with the football. Quick pass, Cummings. Nicely done, and he found his tight end. Mr. Automatic, Jameer Mundine. He's a Mackey Award semifinalist and a pickup of 7.
You could see the timing that the quarterback had with his tight end right there. As soon as Mundine came out of the break, Cummings threw a strike right on the numbers, right in the position where he could catch it and try to make something happen.
Second down 3. Pearson in trouble, fights his way out. Got a little sideways, trying to slash his way to the first down marker, and he's about a yard shy. Ahmad Thomas, the free safety, with the tackle. Well, Kansas Jayhawks, first game of school history back in 1894. On this day, Bowen replaced Charlie Weiss back on the 28th of September, and the passing game is on the rise. Averaging 30-plus more yards since that coaching change. That's the story right now in Kansas. They're trying to break through, and they needed a yard. Maybe they got half of that. Brings up 4th down. Matthew Romar, the defensive tackle. There he is, big number 92, plug the middle.
Anytime you see a defensive lineman that's jerseys starting to roll up on him, I mean, that's a guy, he doesn't care what he looks like. He just cares about how he plays. And the redshirt freshman, he made a play right there. It was physical, got upfield, drove his feet, got in the backfield, shed a block, and shut down the ball carrier.
That's over a minute to play in the opening quarter. Pardula will punt away at his own 20-yard line. Left footer gets it away. Sanchez awaits a line drive kick, and he's down at the 27-yard line. Well, for Oklahoma, been an up-and-down season. I think most Sooner fans would agree. Preseason ranked number 4. All 3 losses came to AP top 25 teams, and those losses include TCU, Kansas State, and Baylor. But they've led it in every ball game.
They have, and because of their offense and because of the run game, they've always given themselves a chance, but defensively they've struggled, specifically in the passing game. They're last in the Big 12 against the pass, and Baylor took full advantage of that at home and really shocked this crowd and shocked all the players on Oklahoma.
Sooners back with the ball at a 10-point lead, under a minute to play, first quarter. A 90-minute lightning delay here in Norman, but we're playing football. Perine. It takes not one but two to bring him down. Victor Simmons with the stop, a gain of 6. Last year as a senior at Hendrickson High School in Pflugerville, Texas, about 1,500 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns. And boy, he fits into this Oklahoma offense like a glove. Second down and 4. Read option, handoff. You hear those pads pop, and Perine this time takes a spill off the left side. Good hit by the weak side backer, Courtney Arnick. And the clock's going to wind down here in the opening quarter. Dominated by OU. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 as we will start the second after this timeout. So we played a quarter in Norman, Oklahoma, behind the running of Perine and the Honeycutt field goal. It's 10-0 Sooners on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 college football is presented by Kay Jewelers, and the rain is picking up. Now, you know, you talk about dares in college, Ryan. All right, buddy, look how tough I am. I've got the shirt off. Forget it. Who needs it? It's wet anyway.
Now he's been doing his CrossFit, showing off his abs and his push-ups. I mean, a lot of confidence for a young college grad.
Now you can do a little laundry on those abs. And look at this. I mean, it's coming down the stairs. Oklahoma starts the second quarter up by 10. On a pass, far side, it floated. It should have been caught, but it was dropped. Deron Neal. It will be difficult, Ryan, to catch a football in this weather.
And it'll be difficult when you are trying to catch balls that are thrown behind you. Everything has to be perfect today. You have to look the ball all the way into your hand to secure the catch. The ball has to be delivered on time. If it's delivered behind you or in areas where it makes it more challenging, it's going to be extremely hard for these wide receivers to make catch. And Neal right there just demonstrated that ball was behind him, and all of a sudden he drops the pass.
Good look at Jed Barnett. Gets that kick away. Nick Harwell receives, and he takes a seat at the 24-yard line. Time to look at our stat comparison. It's brought to you by the Lincoln Wish List Sales Event. You look at the first quarter numbers. I mean, the numbers don't lie. 102 yards of total yards. There are 83 on the ground. And Ryan, the big run by Perine tilted that scale.
It did tilt the scale, and what doesn't show on that specific graph is the passing yards. Oklahoma, they've only completed one pass. And right now they are a one-dimensional offense. And Kansas, they're trying to get their passing game going. They're trying to open things up. They need explosive plays to try to put points on the board.
KU at their own 25-yard line. Blitz from the edge. Handoff up the middle. Break one tackle. How about two? Still pounding the rock up the middle is Corey Avery, and he took 1, 2, 3, 4 Sooners with him. Alexander and company, and a gain of 17.
Well, it was a gain of 17 because the defenders were trying to come in and secure the tackle. They started to slide off of them. They weren't able to grab clock. Again, the fundamentals, you have to be able to be on your keys, do everything perfectly, or the advantage is it's going to get exploited in these type of conditions.
Avery, a true freshman out of Dallas, Texas. Nice run. Gets the call again, breaks another tackle, and rips off another 8. So 25 yards and 2 carries. Last year, he's in high school playing football at Carter High, and now he's in Big 12 football.
And you're just going to see him fight for those extra yards. And a young guy that he's low to the ground, lowers his pads, drives his feet, and demonstrates really good balance right there to stay on his feet and fight for those extra yards.
You know what I like about that picture? It's football, the old-fashioned way. Wet and muddy. Coming from the gun. stopped at the line of scrimmage, and they are right on top of Avery. Devontae Bond with the tackle, number 23, off the right side. Bond's a junior, Sacramento, California, played at Sierra Community College. Now it's 3rd down and 3. You're down 10. You're at midfield.
You've been running the ball well on this drive. You go back to that. You put the ball in your quarterback's hands. I think they go to Cummings, allow him to make the throw. Look for Nigel King, their go-to wide receiver, or their big-time tight end, Jermaine Mundine, in this situation.
Well, Mundine goes in motion, and now the official will jump in, and we got a timeout, Kansas. They want to talk about it. So Clint Bowen uses a timeout. 13 minutes left, first half. They use their second, 1 remaining. Down 10 on Fox Sports 1. Oklahoma leading Kansas by 10. That is Clint Bowen, the interim head coach. Let's take you up the ladder. Bowen, his Kansas connection, Lawrence High, Chesty Lions, state champs, 87-89. Then he goes on to Kansas, plays defensive back, led KU with 114 total tackles in 93. And then in 2014, the dream comes true. He told his wife one day, I want to coach Kansas. You know what? He's living the dream.
He is living the dream, and he's going out and inspiring his football team to play at a high level.
Cummings on a rollout. Throws, ball batted away, incomplete. Stephen Parker knocked that ball away. Number 11, the strong safety. Nice play on the run. And Cummings through the rain tried to connect for a first down, but threw that ball behind Nick Harwell.
Stephen Parker, the young freshman safety, comes up with a big play right there. Read the eyes of the quarterback. It's a bootleg. He flowed with the offense and drove his feet and broke up that pass.
Pardula will punt for the 5th time. And Sanchez is back to receive. You get a good punt here, you can flip the field. There's a low snap. Pressure. Pardula got it away. Sanchez underneath it at the 15-yard line. So 12:47 left to play. Kansas and Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner and the Jayhawks on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 college football is presented by Kay Jewelers. Oklahoma leads by 10 as we take you on a walk through the campus of Oklahoma. This is on a good day, by the way. Ryan, this is when it's nice outside, just fall weather. We did miss that day. It was founded in 1890. About 31,000 enrolled. It's a great campus, great institution, and a great football program. Up by 10 on Kansas. Cody Thomas from the gun, cutting back, P-Ryan. Shoestring tackle, Isaiah Johnson, pick up a 4. Last week against Texas Tech, 25 touches for P-Ryan. Ryan, 213 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a day of work.
It's a great day of work.
Thomas on a quick throw. Boy, that ball just really flew out of his hands. Micaiah Quick, the intended receiver. Brings up 3rd down.
When we spent time with the coaches, we talked about Cody Thomas' ability to handle adversity. Last week, he threw a number of interceptions. The coaches said, hey, we looked in his eyes. We actually liked the way that he was able to respond to adversity. He was concentrated, had a confident look in his eyes. Right now, he's struggling. He needs to find his rhythm and settle down.
3rd down and 6. Long snap count. Thomas brings down the snap. He's flush from the pocket. Hits the edge and tries to fall for a first down, but he's going to be about a yard and a half short. Good coverage by Dexter McDonald. A pickup of 5, but he tracked him down just short of the first down.
Another sign of a young quarterback. He's sitting in the pocket. He just gets a little bit too anxious, and he tries to run for it instead of sitting and waiting for his routes to develop, allowing his wide receivers to open. he panics in a sense and tries to run for the first down.
Barnett inside the 15, low snap, low kick. Harwell knocked down at the 38-yard line. Here's a game summary, and it's brought to you by Dell. 90-minute rain delay. That's kind of the story of the day. And also, well, total yards. Oklahoma's already put 118 up here in the first half.
And obviously, Mother Nature is playing a role in this game. The turnovers, the first downs, everything. The offenses are struggling right now. Oklahoma's doing a nice job running the football, but they're struggling in the pass game. Kansas, they look lethargic. They need to find their rhythm and start playing with some confidence and see if they can establish a run right now.
KU starts this drive on their 37-yard line. Cummings on a rollout. On his back foot, throws it up for grabs in double coverage, and Nigel King tried to one-hand it. Zach Sanchez was back on coverage, but Cummings threw that ball. I mean, he was off balance.
Well, it's hard to catch a ball one-handed in good weather, let alone in bad weather. He's doing everything he can, but in that situation, you got to continue to run, fight for that football, and try to go up and jump up and high point it, catch the ball at the highest point with both hands.
Cummings out just 2 of 7. KU tries the ground this time and wrestled down by a host of Sooners led by Jordan Evans. No gain on the play. Now you got something going. The dare's been matched. I do, you do, and let's see if the guy on the far right will join on. Kansas has been shut out on third down conversions. 0 for 5 in this first half. This is third down and 10, 3 wide near side. Cummings on a keeper. Oklahoma stayed home up front, and they drop him. And a loss of 3.
You're going to see the rush just collapse the pocket. It was a designed quarterback draw. You try to fake like you're going to throw the ball. And then Charles Tapper, the 91, the defensive end, he played hoops in high school. He's a very athletic defensive lineman. Was able to fight off a block and get in the backfield and tackle Cummings.
Pardula will punt at the 20-yard line. Sanchez back to receive for Oklahoma. Gets a Jayhawk bounce inside the 20, and they'll spot it at the 19-yard line. Good punt. Good coverage by the special teams. A boot of 48, and OU with the ball up by 10. Back in Norman, Oklahoma up by a count of 10-0 on Kansas. The ground game superb for the Sooners thus far. Samaje Perine with a touchdown run in the first quarter of 49 yards. He got his opportunity too when Keith Ford went down with injury in week 3. Ford was a guy. Ross has gotten some touches as well, but really Ford's injury allowed Perine to rise to the top.
It did, and Coach Stoops said we have 3 running backs that we trust. Alex Ross, he's 8th in all-purpose yards in the Big 12. Keith Ford, a special talent, and obviously Samaje Perine, he's a phenom freshman.
Whistles.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 16, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That flag thrown on the slot, Micaiah Quick. Look at the rushing yards today, 99 yards, 6.2 yards a touch for Bob Stoops and his Sooners here in the first half against Kansas. They want more up the middle. Big hole. Perine is a load, and he finally pushes his way down to the 19, 20-yard line. Ripkowski with a nice block up front to spring him. Ripkowski doesn't get a lot of attention. The fullback.
Well, he may not get a lot of attention by fans, but he gets a lot of attention by NFL scouts. He is a guy that is a can-do. He can do anything that the coaches ask him. Plays fullback, plays H-back, plays tight end, and he is a physical football player.
Yeah, he scored a fourth-quarter touchdown last week. That win against Texas Tech. There's a throw, and it skips incomplete. That's a tough throw. Quick, the intended receiver across the field by Thomas. Sindish was on coverage. Thomas now Both quarterbacks struggling throwing. And that's what we expected, right? 1 of 7 for Thomas.
We did expect that, but the weather has nothing to do with your timing. That's a bang-bang throw. As soon as the ball snaps, you have to get the ball out of your hands quickly and on time, and he's not doing that right now.
3rd down and 8. Thomas from the gun. 3-step drop, pressure from the backside. Throws, tough catch. Down low, one-handed by Ripkowski. That's why he's so valuable. That's his 5th reception of the season. Love a little slow getting up. And a gain of 9.
He's just going to slip out of the backfield, chip off Reynolds right there, the best pass rusher, slip out, catch a ball that was poorly thrown down by the shoelaces, secure the catch, and then fight for the first down.
Got a player down. That's the right corner for Kansas, Ja'Cory Shepherd, and a senior. Looking at his left shoulder, I mean, there was a collision there with Ripkowski.
There was, and he's not a big corner, but he plays big. He's a stud, has very good feet, does an excellent job covering some of these talented wide receivers in the Big 12. He was an all Big 12 academic player last year, and if he's out, that's a big loss for this Kansas defense.
So the trainer's on the field. Let's get a game break. Back to Los Angeles. Let's check in and say hello to Greg Wolf.
Okay, thanks. We check back in Columbus. Number 6 Ohio State has responded after falling behind. J.T. Barrett touchdown pass to Jalen Marshall, or at a 54-yard punt return for a touchdown earlier. This is a 6-yard score. Buckeyes lead Indiana 28-20, 4th quarter. Craig, Ryan, back to you.
All right, Greg, thanks. Tough to beat the Buckeyes on their home field. It's good to see Shepherd up after a couple of trainers. Now, again, you make a collision, you hit Perine at 245. Pardon me, Ripkowski, and I mean, that's going to send some shockwaves through the body.
Well, that'll sting you all the way to your toes right there. And you can see Shepherd as he goes in, he tries to lower his shoulder, and he doesn't come in and wrap up. That's actually not a very good job coming in and using your fundamentals. You got to come in with your arms, drive your feet. If you throw a shoulder in there against a big offensive player, you're prone to getting hurt.
Clock runs under 9 minutes to play in this first half. Handoff, Perine, right side, watch out. Slippery, powerful, and a gain of 12 up to the 42-yard line. Arnick got some help from Sindish. It takes 2 to bring him down.
Well, it does, and the offense did a nice job changing things up. They've been going north and south, really running power football, lead plays up inside the tackles. They ran a zone play, a stretch play to try to loosen up the defense and get to the outside, and Perine was able to get up inside and turn it up for a positive game.
You saw those numbers, over 9 yards a touch. This time, though, he's stuffed. No gain. Tevin Shaw, they give him 1. Made the initial hit, the nickelback. Oklahoma State Baylor tonight on Fox, 6:30 Eastern time. Here Oklahoma and Norman after a 90-minute lightning delay. We're finally playing football. 8 minutes left first half. Sooners up 10.
Craig, with Shepherd out, the best corner for Kansas, I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma starts taking shots there.
Left side, just power football. Perine takes on McDonald, the left corner, and a pickup of 2. Clock runs. Could be one of those games too, Ryan, because of the rain. Depends on what coordinators, offensive coordinators want to go with, but this could be a fast game. You start running the ball, the clock just rolls and rolls.
It does, and it'll just continue to keep you on the football field, and it wears you down as a defensive player. You got to find a way to fight, be smart, and play your fundamentals, and then find a way to rally as a unit to the football and get off the football field.
Confusion with this play. Thomas tries to settle things down. Play clock to 3. Just got the snap away. Like the basic football. Crashing up the middle. Perine, first down. Oklahoma. For a moment, you thought it's a busted play. And that busted play equals a first down.
Well, it took time to develop, and they were obviously trying to check themselves in the right situation. But it starts up front with Darlington and Shedd and Williams and Thomas, the entire offensive line opening up those holes and giving Perine the opportunity to get through those creases.
Perine picks up the first down, a gain of 10. He's been the workhorse, wide open left side. He dips that shoulder, another first down. Fish Smithson and a Baltimore. Pulls him down, but not before a gain of 13. 23 yards on 2 carries.
And the reason these holes are starting to open up, the offensive linemen are getting to the second level. They're coming off their double teams and getting to the linebackers and securing them and blocking them, from preventing them from getting downhill to the ball carrier.
Perine over 100 yards for the 4th time his freshman season. He came in with 1,001 yards. Perine breaks a tackle. Goodbye! Touchdown, Oklahoma. You want a definition of dominance? Tell you what, Big 12, be alerted. That's a scary running back.
They're going to see a lot of Perine for a number of years, and his vision on that play is what made it special. And not only is he a physical, speedy, talented runner, but he has great vision that he shows maturity right there to put his foot in the ground and cut and race to the end zone.
Honeycutt connects on the point after. Perine, 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This one covers 33 yards, and OU up by 17. Nine plays, 82 yards. Perine goes 33 yards untouched, and that's his 16th rushing touchdown. New freshman record as he bypasses Adrian Peterson.
You don't need to throw the football when you got a freshman running back like Perine. Just a special talent. We've talked about him a number of times throughout the day, and he continues to demonstrate. He continues to press week in and week out. All the defensive coordinators know who's getting the football, and yet they still can't stop him unless, guess what? The defense makes mistakes and miscues, and that's what happened on that last play.
Perine already with 2 touchdowns, 143 yards on 14 touches. Sooners up by 17. 3 yards deep, no return. Touchback, Kansas. Stay tuned for the Fox Sports 1 college football halftime. Let's check in now. Rob Stone in L.A.
Coming up on the Dell halftime, number 6 Ohio State's playoff hopes shockingly in jeopardy. Number 13 Arizona State, they look to stay alive in the Pac-12 South. And what must number 7 Baylor show to the playoff committee in their final 3 games? It's a big question. We'll have the answer. Craig Ryan, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Rob. That's a good question. What's Baylor got to do? Petty and company.
They got to win out, and win out impressively. They got to continue to put up the numbers that they do with their offense, and they'll pass the eye test.
Pitch, track down, striker, right on top of Tony Pearson.
You know, if I was Cummings and I came to the line of scrimmage, I'd find where 19 was and check out of that play. I'd run away from him. They can't find a way to get around the corner. He's going to be on the left-hand side of your screen, and Stryker just shows his athleticism. He's patient, splits the blockers, and gets up the field and reads the play out and stuffs it for a loss.
Ron Heat came in untouched. Cummings out of the pocket, now tucks and runs and hook slides to the 21-yard line. That brings up 3rd down and long. You take a look at the last 4 possessions. I mean, it's kind of a song, isn't it? Punt, 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 punt. 3 plays and out. Yards hard to come by. First half for KU.
And you can see Cummings right there talking to his tight end Mondine. When you start scrambling, you want your receivers, your tight ends to start working back towards you to try to help you out. His receivers didn't bail him out in that situation.
Under 5 minutes to play first half. Corey Avery lines up alongside Cummings. They'll swing it out. Pitch and catch. Avery close to a first down, and what do you know? Let's see where the mark is. Yes, first down. Big play. Avery pushes past Oklahoma to that 2nd level, and a first down KU.
Well, Avery's lined up in the backfield right here, number 6, and you're going to see him just sneak out of the backfield. Cummings is patient. He's looking around, but that's a design screen play, and he gets great yardage right there.
Avery tries the heart of that front line, and not much. Kansas front line 290 is Lewandowski, Smithburg 305. Gibson, the center, goes 295. Tough to take on that front of OU. Phillips, Romar, the two defensive tackles. Now the officials will jump in, and a timeout called forward by Oklahoma. We'll keep it here.
30-second timeout.
4 minutes left, and Oklahoma uses their first timeout here of the half.
And Mike Stoops called that timeout because there was miscommunication on the back end. And anytime the corners and the safeties aren't on the same page, you better call a timeout, because Kansas will take advantage of that. And they've been trying to find a way to have a couple miscues on Oklahoma's defense so they can get an explosive play. But right there, Coach Stoops said, hey, we need to call a timeout. Let's calm down. Let's settle in and find a way to get on the same page and regroup.
Good talk with Mike Stoops yesterday, also the associate head coach, and yes, the brother of the head coach, Bob Stoops. Coming up, Dell halftime. Ohio State on the ropes, taking on Indiana. Arizona State looks to stay alive in the South in the Pac-12. And as we talked about, Baylor, what can they do to prove themselves to the playoff committee? That's all straight ahead, back in Los Angeles. Clint Bowen's trying to figure out what he can do against Oklahoma, down by 17 on the road. Cummings, pressure from the edge. He's hit the ball. Drops incomplete. Stryker came strong off the edge, along with Devontae Bond. Boy, what a first half defensively for Stryker.
He's right here, number 19. You're going to see him just come off the edge of the offense and just use his speed. That's all that is. Speed and athleticism to be able to turn the corner and get to the quarterback. But he does that week in and week out. Offensive coordinators try to prepare for him, but he's too tough.
Stryker, 4 tackles, 2 for losses. Cummings in trouble again, and he's wrapped up. Oklahoma is just crashing in. Ndulue, number 98, a loss of 5, and Cummings slow off the grass.
Ndulue is going to get pressure right up the middle. He's going to get pressure. He's going to get pressure. And then Stryker's going to come off the edge and try to clean it up. They run a little twist stunt. And Ndulue runs off the stunt, gets in the backfield untouched, and Stryker's coming around the quarter to clean up the pile.
Ndulue came in with 2.5 sacks. He'll get credit for a half along with Stryker. Pardula has been busy. Punts the ball away. And takes a bounce out of bounds around the 30-yard line. That's where Oklahoma will have it. Time for a game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
Guys, at Sun Devil Stadium, number 13, Arizona State was down 21-7. Taylor Kelly has brought him back. He finds Frederick Gamage, 10-yard score, tied the game at 21. Wazoo would add a field goal late. Cougars lead 24-21 at the half. Craig, Ryan, back to you.
Oh, boy, how about that? Coach Leach working a little upset magic on the road.
Coach Leach's always working something with Washington State.
Ball on the 26 for Oklahoma. 3:09 to play. Thomas handles that high snap. Perine. Stiff arms. How about 8 yards? Follows his blockers. Darrell Williams and Ripkowski. Beautiful hole. I mean, if you have a little patience, and Perine does. He knows he's got speed and power, but he also has patience.
You usually don't see that with a young freshman running back, and you can see the results for Oklahoma's offense in the last number of drives, but it's all been on the shoulders of Perine.
Gets the number again. Big hole. Watch out. 50. Stiff arms. 45. And out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Cassius Sindish out there with the tackle, and Ripkowski's having his way. I'd say Ripkowski's ripping big holes for Perine.
Well, they just run a power play, and Ripkowski runs up, number 48. Excellent job squaring up, getting a block, opening up that hole, and Kansas better solve this problem. Let's try to solve this equation quickly and get more players to this football, because Perine, on the next play, he's going to hit his head on the goalpost.
A pickup of 23. They keep feeding the beast. This time the left side. First down inside the 30-yard line. Ben Goodman wrapped him up and saved what could have been a touchdown. And again, the holes are gaping. A pickup of 13.
Well, Ben Goodman's the backside defensive end, and he prevents Perine from hitting his head on the goalpost. Right there, this defense is starting to get worn down. You have to be able to come off your gaps and play fundamentally sound. And the linebackers, Ben Heaney, where are you? You got to step up right now and start making plays.
Ryan Perine's working on a 200-yard half from the gun. Thomas wants to throw and does. Over the middle, ball may have been deflected and it falls incomplete. They'll bring up second down. Tevin Shaw got some pressure up on Cody Thomas. 188 yards on 17 touches. 4 games now over 100 this year. I mean, that's almost, I stand in awe at 11 plus yards per touch.
You and me both. And last week he had 213 yards on the ground. I mean, he could break that easily today. He continues to run the football.
Flags are out.
False start. Offense. Number 71. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Whistles on 71. Tyrus Thompson, pardon me. He moves. It's hard to miss. 6'5", 336.
Well, he's a solid player, and he's talking to Kansas defensive players and saying, hey, I'm coming again. Our entire offensive line is coming again. What are you going to do? How are you going to stop us?
They push the ball back 5, second down and 15. Perine wide open, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Third touchdown of this half for Samaje Perine. He went 49 in the first quarter, 33 here in the second. This one goes 34. Untouched.
It's the exact same play that Perine scored on the play before, on the touchdown before. They were in the exact same formation. It was identical play call, and Kansas wasn't able to defend it once again, and Perine was off to the races.
Honeycutt will work that leg again, trying to make it a 24-0 lead, and boots it through with 1:41 to play. I tell you, this 90-minute lightning delay has not slowed down OU's ground game, especially Samaje Perine.
Well, you're going to see Isaiah Thomas, number 5. He's a safety. He's tracking the fullback with his eyes, but he loses the ball carrier. He has to replace in that situation. And when he doesn't replace, it opens up a hole. And Perine, that play is designed to go to his right. Well, on the touchdown before, he cut it back to the left and he scored. And he said, hey, it's designed to go to the right on this time. I'm going to cut it back to the left and see if I can score again. And he did.
Third game now with over 200 rushing yards this season. And that ties Adrian Peterson's freshman record. And Ron, I think Peterson's freshman records are going to be absolutely wiped out by this young man.
Well,
all of them.
There's a couple games left. You know, with the bowl game, he has the opportunity to continue to put up impressive numbers. And anytime you can be compared to Adrian Peterson or be compared to DeMarco Murray, 2 outstanding running backs in the NFL that played football at an extremely high level for Oklahoma, you're doing something right. And again, I think what's impressive about him, Craig, is not just the things that he's doing on the football field. It's all the things he does off the football field to make him great.
Well, the most rushing yards in any half in school history. And we're witnessing that right here in Norman. 222 yards on 18 carries, 3 touchdowns. At the goal line. And Ja'Cory Shepherd is taken down at the 25. That's where KU will take over. And they're down 24. They've got to find something, some confidence Ryan needs here before halftime.
It starts with Cummings at the quarterback position. He's the leader. If you can start completing a couple passes and at the same time just start moving the chains, that's going to be important.
So Clint Bowen, who also is a D coordinator, he's having a talk. Not happy with his defense here in the first half, down 24. They run the ball to Avery. Of course, Bowen, the interim head coach, took over for Charlie Weiss 7 weeks ago. his players have responded, you know, and the message he told us, and we saw him 6 weeks ago, he says, look, we're Big 12 players. I want you guys to understand that you're here for a reason. And you know what? We're going to Norman. There's going to be a lot of red in the stands. But you know what? You battle, you fight, because that's what you're supposed to do.
They did that last week. They almost upset TCU. They have talent. They have players. And when you play with heart and emotion, you give yourself a chance.
Avery smothered at the 29-yard line. Walker, Alexander, right on top of the back of number 6.
Kansas looks like they're going to be content to run the clock down. They're going to run a couple plays. They're not being aggressive at all. They're going to go into halftime and make some adjustments and hopefully make some corrections defensively.
3rd down and 6. Bowen wearing 2 hats, interim head coach, defensive coordinator. He said the game has slowed down a bit since he took over. Handoff, left side. Second effort. Up to the 34-yard line goes Avery. 4th down and 2.
Hold on. 30-second timeout.
So a 30-second timeout called. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma says, well, there's a little bit of time left on the clock. We saw a miscue when they tried to snap the ball earlier in the game. There's another opportunity. Could have a miscue. Slippery field. All of a sudden, a punt returner gets in the open field. They can get things done in this situation.
Well, you saw Coach Stoops. Talked to him in length yesterday. Energized. His office was quite a setting.
It was a trophy room.
Hey, if I'm 18, I want to play football. I walk in there, I just say, where do I sign, Coach?
I mean, the watches, the footballs, the trophies, the autographs. It was like a museum.
Pardula again punts, hangs it high, and that ball floats away out of bounds. And the clock runs dry here on the first half. It is a dominating first half. Oklahoma up by a count of 24-0. Sooners have won 47 straight when they lead at the half. Right now we go to Rob Stone, Joel Klatten, the coach in Los Angeles. Guys. It's been a red rain here in Norman. Boomer Sooner, they're in control. 24-0 on Kansas. Samaje Perine has stolen the show. Craig Bolerjack back along with Ryan Neese. I'd say Perine, the young freshman, has 222 yards at the half, and not 1, 2, but 3 touchdowns.
This is his team. This is his game, and he continues to dominate. A complete dominant performance in that first half. Really almost a complete game the way that he was running the football. Offensively, it starts up front when you got guys like Kashitati, Shed, Thompson opening up the holes, and then Perine does the rest. He shows his speed. He shows his elusiveness to be able to get in the open field. And the other thing that he does, Craig, is he's patient. He finds the open holes, and when that hole opens up, he bursts through it. And this offensive line has put on a dominant show as well up front. A very, very physical performance against this Kansas defense.
Now he's worked the right side, up the middle, and on the left side. Doesn't matter. That just shows you the dominance of Oklahoma's front line up against Kansas. And there's the numbers today. 222 on the ground, 19 receiving yards, 241 total, and 3 touchdowns.
Most in a half. I mean, by an OU player ever. I mean, that's
think of the players that have come through here.
I mean, there's a long list of great running backs that have played at a high level, not just in college, but in the pros. And he's, once again, last week he had over 200 yards. In the first half, he has over 200 yards. He's unstoppable right now.
Now the likes of Billy Sims hits kind of strikes me first. Pruitt, Owens. I mean, just the names just And they just keep on going.
And Pruitt has the all-time record, and really, Perine is only around 70 yards away from breaking that all-time record. He could get that on one touch.
Remember, Kansas won the toss. They deferred, so they will get the ball here to start the third quarter of play. Down 24. You have to wonder, too, if they just ran out of gas after last week's home loss to TCU 34-30. They put up 420 yards of offense.
They did, and that was an emotional loss, Craig, and you're absolutely right. When you play a game like that, you think you have the opportunity for an upset, and you lose. It takes a lot of the wind out of your sails. You have to have adversity, and when you are able to overcome adversity, it starts with your seniors. There's a number of seniors on Kansas' team, offensively and defensively, that have to rise to the occasion in this second half.
Hodgson with the kick for the 35, and the second half underway. No return, and he kicked it out of the end zone. Touchback. And we talked about the dominance of the offensive line of Oklahoma. Their defensive front dominated Kansas.
Well, they're big, they're physical, and they're extremely fast. And they're making a number of plays. They're making it very hard for Kansas to get anything going. Kansas offensively has not been able to find the rhythm in the run game or in the pass game because of Oklahoma and the way that they're able to pursue the football as a collective unit and find a way to get to that ball carrier and get to that ball carrier with a bad attitude.
First half stats brought to you by Geico. 284 total yards for Oklahoma as we start the third. Movement up front.
Ball start. Offense. Number 78. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Larry Mazik, the right tackle. And you look at those numbers, I mean, it is lopsided. Just 49 yards of offense for Kansas. 17 on the ground and just 3 first downs.
It is lopsided, and it's a testament to the way Oklahoma's defense is playing right now. They're playing at a very high level, and they're doing it as a unit.
Sooners show blitz. Cummings, the handoff. And right now, OU's on fire. Jordan Phillips was in the backfield when Cummings made the handoff.
Well, Jordan Phillips is going against the freshman Joe Gibson, and Joe Gibson went for a ride. Looked like he was on skates right there. Jordan Phillips is a guy that's going to play at the next level. Very talented, 6'6", 333 pounds of pure muscle and pure attitude.
He's out of Towanda, Kansas, so maybe a little added incentive today. Being from the state of Kansas, second down, 18 after the loss of 8. Cummings with a pump, throws incomplete. Tony Pearson, the intended receiver. Cummings nowhere near the game he had last week. 332 yards passing, a couple of touchdowns. He put it up 37 times.
Well, you go in at halftime, you make some corrections. You start this drive with a penalty. Then the next play, you start it with a tackle for loss, and now you have an incomplete pass. This offense is out of sync, and Cummings, you can see it in his body language. He's frustrated. This isn't a time to panic. You got to calm down and find a way to just deliver the football in an effective way.
Kansas 1 of 9 on converting third downs. There's a pass and way off the mark, incomplete. He was throwing far side to Coleman. And Rodriguez Coleman. Cummings shakes his head. I don't blame him. Off the field he goes, and it's 4th and 18.
And he had Coleman open. He had an opportunity right there. He needed to sit in the pocket, but you could tell his body language, he just didn't look comfortable and wasn't confident when he was trying to throw that ball. He was fading back. And anytime you fade back, it's hard to be accurate as a quarterback. You step in there, you plant your front foot, and you drive your arm and you throw a strike.
You're going to punt this ball with Pardula. What do you say? Low snap. And the lefty gets it away. High hanger. Sanchez waits for the fair catch, driven back to the 35-yard line. So Oklahoma starts her first drive at the 35. Tonight, the UFC returns to Fox Sports 1. It's an epic night of bouts, including a huge featherweight showdown between third-ranked Frankie Edgar and second-ranked Cub Swanson. That's coverage that begins at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Kansas defense needs a couple players to step up like some USC fighters right now and get a little attitude about them and find a way to shut down this run game of Oklahoma.
Cody Thomas from the gun. Perine trying to add to his big game totals right up the middle. There he goes. Watch out. 50, 40. Goodbye again. That could be the one. Touchdown.
Could be the one. He is the one. We talked about him breaking the record on one play. He might have done it right there. Again, this is a simple lead play, and when you're not able to get off blocks, and when you're not able to find a way to get to the football as a defensive unit, and you're going against a phenom like Perine, watch out. I mean, this is going to be a long day for this Kansas defense, and they're going to continue to hammer this football. We're going to see a number of records broken here today.
Ron, it's just simple football. Manu a manu. I mean, it's me against you. Up front, Perine rumbles 66 yards. His 4th touchdown of the afternoon. And Oklahoma coasting by Kansas. Fox Sports 1 College Football is presented by Kay Jewelers. As we welcome you back to Norman, rain begins to fall again, but it is not the rain has not spoiled the day for Samaje Perine. Just ran a career 66-yard touchdown. He's at 288 yards on the day, working on now 300.
Yeah, this rain is not putting him out. He's on fire right now, and he can't be stopped. And a lot of it is lack of execution by Kansas defense. They're not in the right place. They're not filling the holes. But Perine, when you're a talented running back and you have the vision and the speed and athleticism, he can take full advantage of it.
Kickoff will fall out of the end zone. Touchback. Kansas down 31-0 against 21st ranked Oklahoma. And Ron, you got to go back to the story about OU this year. They had high hopes, maybe national title hopes. 4th ranked preseason polls, had injuries. You know, the 3 losses, you go back and take a look. Remember those first 2 losses were a combined 3 points. TCU, Kansas State, then came the one that you had to shake your head. At home against Baylor.
Yeah, and that was a big matchup, and they thought they had a chance to get back in the national ranks and earn the respect back against a very talented Baylor team. But Baylor came in here with a different mindset and a different story and gave it to this defense and put up huge numbers.
In traffic, picked off. Ahmad Thomas for the first time this year gets an interception, and Cummings throws his 4th interception. And KU right now, the wheels are wobbling.
Ahmad Thomas is sitting in center field. He's the safety. He's just reading the eyes of Cummings. Cummings tries to come back to his receiver. When you're running a post route, you have to try to look that safety off as much as possible. And when you don't put velocity on the football, it's going to allow an athletic safety like Ahmad to read your eyes, come back, and make a play on the football.
11th interception as a team for Oklahoma. And now Keith Ford in the backfield for OU. Ball's at the 50-yard line, and OU's up by 31. Thomas handoff right side. Ford rips off 10. Isaiah Johnson.
He might have fumbled the football.
He did. He picks it up. KU's running the other way. Huffing, puffing. 10, 5, touchdown. It is Sindish. Cassius Sindish. The ball came out, and Sindish comes up with it and rumbles in for KU's first touchdown.
Well, Isaiah Johnson, the safety, who struggled early in the first half, wasn't in the right place, gave up some big runs. He comes up with a tackle right there, causes the fumble, and it slips out. And Cassius Sindish is right there, right place, Johnny on the spot, and makes the play. You can see the ball slip out right there.
You saw Ford stay down. OU kind of stood flat-footed. KU was Johnny on the spot. And Sindish picks up the fumble and takes it in for a touchdown.
First charge, timeout, Oklahoma.
So we have a timeout called by Stoops in Oklahoma. And we'll come back on Fox Sports 1 right after this. Welcome back. Norman, Oklahoma. Owen Field. Home of OU. 13-34. Fumble. Recovery. Cassius Sindish. And now the PAT to come after the touchdown off the fumble. And the chip shot up and good by Wyman. And Kansas on the board.
Cassius Sindish, he's the vocal leader of this defense. The coach has said he's the spark plug. He's the one that energizes the entire defensive unit. And he comes up with a big play, a much needed play. And we talked about the keys of the game earlier. One of the things they needed to do was create turnovers, get the ball back, and get possessions to the offense. Well, not only they caused turnover, but they got points on the board. They needed that.
Well, the timeout was for a reason. They had to review. And I want to go out to Los Angeles, Eagle Eye, Mike Pereira. Mike, you take a look at this with us because we're going to bring it in to you and just show you how close Sindish was. Your thoughts if he was out of bounds or not?
Yeah, I think really he's still in bounds. Watch the foot here as it gets near the sideline. You don't really have a down-the-line shot, but it's awfully close. You're going to get this step. The next step here, I think it's coming with the right foot right there. Is that out of bounds? And it looks to me like the whole foot's still in bounds. I thought they might stop it and review it, though, but see the green to the left side of the foot there? I think he's actually in bounds, but they chose to, thank God, with all the rain and everything, not to stop the thing and spend any more time in this.
Well said, Mike. Thanks so much for the insight. We'll check in with you. If need be, there's a little pooch kick, and it's taken at the 28-yard line by Oklahoma. Dimitri Flowers, the fullback, backs up Ripkowski with that reception, that catch. Full day of college football rivalries continue. Later today, Stanford, how about taking on Cal? That's on Fox Sports 1. Then on Fox, Oklahoma State Cowboys square off against the Bears of Baylor. And the action continues at 4 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
It's an interesting matchup. Cal's offense has been putting up a lot of points every single week, and Stanford's defense, they don't give up a lot of points. That's going to be a tough matchup.
Perine comes back on the field. He's working on a 300-yard day. He just ripped one for 66 yards and a touchdown. Up the middle he goes, cuts it to the left side. Powers past one block, one tackler and another, and finally driven back. His forward progress will be marked at the 35-yard line. Reynolds and Sindish with the stop, but not before 8 yards.
Sindish with the stop, and Reynolds is there. They still didn't bring him down. I mean, he's still fighting. He's still upright, and that's frustrating. I've been in those situations as a defense. When you're going against a player that's dominating you, it starts to get in your head.
Perine, first down and more. Watch out, 50, 40. Makes a cut, and he slips on the wet grass. And he's down at the 38-yard line. 25 yards off the right side.
And I don't know if he slipped on the wet grass or that just a tread on his tires got worn out. I mean, he's just getting tired. I mean, the amount of touches he's had and the yards he's had, it's a full day's work.
New Sooner single game record. Over 320 now for Samaje Perine, true freshman out of Pflugerville, Texas. Remember that name and the number. This time Kansas will chop him down low. Good tackle. Heaney still picked up 3. Ryan, you had a nice pro career. Does he remind you of anyone right off? I mean, anyone in particular?
Well, I think he's a combination of a Frank Gore that shows great balance, a physical runner that has the speed of a DeMarco Murray that can get in the open field and has that top end speed.
I like that combo.
That's a great combo. And he's only a freshman.
Second down and 7. Straight ahead. Behind Ty Darlington. Number 56, the center. Where he has been the most effective today, Ryan, is just running right outside and left outside.
Kashitati, the guard, and Sheed and Thompson, and those are big boys. I'd run behind them all day as well, and you can see the yards right there, 346 total yards just by himself. I mean, Kansas offense only has 46.
First down and more. Perine putting on a show. One to remember, Arnick with the tackle to the 25-yard line and another gain of 7.
In Kansas, what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring their safeties down, trying to get them active in the run game, trying to help support this defensive line and linebackers that are on skates right now getting pushed back. The defensive line has to try to get more penetration and get off the ball.
Under 11 minutes to play. They call Perine's number again to the 20. Picks up 4 more, and the clock runs. Second down and 6.
Well, Clint Bowen right there called up a run blitz. He said, I had enough. I got to do something. I'm going to try to bring the house just to try to stop this run. And right there was effective. I wouldn't be surprised if they call the same exact defense again.
Cody Thomas from the gun. Another dose of Perine. This time Kansas on top of him. No gain. They drop him at the 21-yard line. What this does as well, Ryan, it just runs clock.
It runs clock, and in this type of weather conditions, this is the type of running back that you want to have. This is the exact type of offense that you want to have, because you can continue to pound the rock. You continue to be physical. You eat up your clock. You're up big in the game, and this is working to Oklahoma's advantage.
Trying to find the end zone again on 3rd down and 5. Thomas on a quick throw. And over the top of KJ Young, incomplete. 4th down. So this will be an opportunity for Oklahoma to try to use some special teams. A little workout for Honeycutt.
You know, it's interesting. They've been running the ball so much. Cody hasn't even had a chance to get his arm active. It's cold. It's wet. He's just not. He hasn't been very accurate. But right there, you can see once again, he's late with the football, and he's not throwing the ball with a lot of confidence.
38-yard field goal made in the first quarter. This will be from 38 in the rain, and it's up and good. Officially 37 for Honeycutt. And Oklahoma makes it 34-7. A rough day for Kansas. And interim head coach Clint Bowen in Norman on a rainy, lightning, and a thundery day. We'll be back on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 college football is presented by Kay Jewelers. I love that look. You know what? Your little war paint. Ripkowski comes out there. I tell you, I wouldn't want to run into him, plus with the rain running down his cheeks.
He's got war paint on, a neck roll. You know that's a bad man that's running through the football, or running through the holes to set up the blocks for Perine. He's done an excellent job today, as has the offensive line, and just an impressive performance all around.
Well, Ripkowski's been blocking and Perine's been running. And that O-line, as you mentioned, a remarkable day for Oklahoma on the ground.
He's still holding on to the football right there on the side. They can't let it go.
No return again, and a knee goes down, and a touchback by Ja'Cory Shepherd. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and so much more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Kansas starts at the 25. Cummings, the quarterback, they pressure, and he throws it away. Again, Ryan, I don't know if that was a bubble screen. Oklahoma blew it up, and Cummings had no place to throw.
Well, Tony Pearson slipping out of the backfield, and that's exactly what that play was, Craig. It was a slip screen. You hit it right on the money. They're just trying to find a way to get something going, and sometimes if you can try to slow down a defensive line that's rushing as hard as Oklahoma is, you do it with running screens offensively.
Cummings today, 3 of 13, 32 yards, an interception. Again from the gun. Hand off, and again, nowhere to go. Pearson is thrown back by Jordan Phillips. Ryan, he's been in that backfield so quick off the line. He's there right about the time Cummings hands the ball to Pearson.
I mean, you can see that he's got the snap count down. He's the first one that explodes off the line when that center's snapping the football. That's why he's able to be so disruptive and get in the backfield. Just great timing, great instincts on his part, and he goes in there and secures the tackle.
A loss of 5, 3rd down and 15. Cummings puts the ball down now. Tucks and runs and slides to the 21. Cummings seems a little timid running on this wet turf.
Well, he's a little timid because he can't find the open receiver. He knows the only way for him to get a first down is to push the ball down the football field. So he's trying to tiptoe his way out of the pocket and continue to keep his eyes down the field to find the open man, and his receivers aren't getting open against this defense. It's doing a nice job against the pass. In the pass, they've struggled against it.
You saw Sanchez back to receive. Oklahoma's going to have 5 field position. Pardula, high snap, catches it, punts it from the 10. Sanchez runs up on it. Short kick, 40. Sanchez to the 35-yard line of Kansas. As Ed Bruce might have once said, mamas don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. The National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum preserves and interprets the evolving history and cultures of the America West. Celebrate his 50th birthday next year. In 2015, how about nearly 12 million guests have come through the museum? We'll be back in Norman after this. Welcome back, Norman, Oklahoma. You heard that roar from the crowd. Perine back for more. The crowd didn't want to have him sit on the sideline here as we're still just halfway through the 3rd. Here he comes. 4 white hats take down Perine. A pickup of 2. Last week, Ryan, 213 yards against Texas Tech. Today, well over 300 against Kansas. He came in as the Big 12 leader, averaging over 100 yards a game. Rolls on top of a player and picks up a couple, make it 3. Clock coming up on 7 minutes to play. Still in the 3rd quarter. Bob Stoops, 15 consecutive bowl games. I guarantee you it's going to be 16. He's in that 100 club. All-time winningest coach at Oklahoma. I thought Perine was stopped, and he still popped through for 3.
And he is a slippery little guy, and it looked like he was stopping. It looked like Kansas seemed like they started to settle in and find a way to stop this running game. But right when you thought that, Perine continues to fight for those extra yards.
So 4th and 2. Perine, first down, 15-10, fire! Touchdown! On a 4th and 2, Perine takes it 27. 5th touchdown of the afternoon.
If he had a longer field, he might have broke this record, the all-time record. I mean, they're working with a short field, and he continues to fight for extra yards. And once again, that's just power football on a 4th down, and he's off to the races.
Extra point, Honeycutt. Been busy. Boots it through. 4 plays, 35 yards, and the last 27 carried by Samaje Perine.
You And on the previous 3 plays, Kansas did a nice job defensively, filling the gaps, getting in there and trying to stop the run. And all of a sudden, just when you thought they figured it out, not so fast. Perine and that offensive line, they run power football, they pull him around, and Perine runs right behind his blockers. He's patient, gets behind the big boys. He's off. Touchdown.
Ryan, you're an old NFL linebacker. I don't know. I don't think you'd want to hit him.
Oh, I definitely would want to hit him.
You want to hit him.
Well, if you're a linebacker, these are the type of running backs that you want to go against. And, you know, I have a lot of respect for Ben Heaney, number 31, and Michael Reynolds. Both of those players are physical players for Kansas. I'd like to see them around the ball carrier a little bit more because Perine's giving it to him all day long. If I was playing, Craig, as a linebacker, these are the kind of guys that get you going. Give you goosebumps.
And for those of you who are tuning in to watch Stanford and Cal, that game is starting over on Fox Sports 2. This game delayed 90 minutes earlier this morning because of lightning in Norman. And so that's the reason for the late start. And the game only 6 minutes left in the third. 375 yards for Samaje Perine. Kansas will not bring it out. And another touchback. 41-7. Time for a Lowe's Never Stop Improving game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
Guys, Arkansas ended their 17-game SEC slide last week against then number 17 LSU. Now they have the early lead on number 8 Ole Miss. Brandon Allen to Keon Hatcher. 25-yard score. They've added a field goal since. Razorbacks lead the Rebels 10-0 first quarter. Craig Ryan, back to you.
All right, thank you, Greg. Keep an eye on that. Here a runaway, Oklahoma behind Perine. 5 rushing touchdowns. 6 minutes left, third quarter. Cummings. Second row.
He just airmailed that, and you can just once again see his frustration. I can't find anybody open. I'm going to throw it into the second row. And you know, that's one of the reasons why this defense for Kansas is struggling. Their offense isn't helping them out. They're not moving the ball. They're not moving the chains. They're not eating up the clock, and they're not keeping Oklahoma's offense off the field.
Incompletion, stop the clock. 6 minutes left in the third. Dancing with nowhere to dance. And you know what? Right now, Corey Avery, he just stood and stopped. I mean, you can see and sense frustration for Kansas. Body language tells you a lot.
Tells you a lot on that play. And again, you're behind. You're a young running back. That's when you got to find a way to keep fighting and crawling. We're seeing Perine. They're up big, and he's doing everything he can just to get 2 extra inches. You have to have that same mentality whether you're up big or you're down big.
Rain continues to fall. Just 42 yards of offense for the Jayhawks of Kansas. Cummings flings it near side. Still on his feet. Tony Pearson took a hit. He's running down the sideline. And they're going to mark him out of bounds. Let's see, back at the 33-yard line. Zach Sanchez made the initial hit.
And Zach Sanchez thought he was going to go down and thought it would go down easy. And he said, no, Tony Pearson said, no, I'm going to continue to do what I can to try to get my offense going and ignite them. A nice little play right there. Showed his athleticism.
Tony Pearson, as we talked, started as a wideout. And Clint Bowen wanted more touches for his running back. Comes up short of the first down. Sanchez back to receive yet another punt from Pardula. Like a wedge out of your golf bag. Put it right at the 30-yard line. 36-yard boot. And now Oklahoma goes back to work at the 30-yard line, up 41-7. Well, Troy Davis for Iowa State, single game rushing record 378. Perine 375. Ricky Williams went 350 with Texas. And here he comes.
And you can hear the crowd. And there's a reason why they're sticking around. They're watching a special performance here.
3 yards, ties it. On a keeper. Thomas. Flags out. Thomas down the sideline and runs it out at the 35, but a flag way back.
I think they got holding on that one. That was probably, you know, one of those calls that Cody Thomas wishes wasn't made right there. He tucks the ball, a little read option, decides to keep it himself. Everybody in the stadium thought Perine was going to get it. He keeps it, and he's off to the races.
There were 2 fouls by the offense. Holding, number 17. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 1. That penalty will be accepted. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Both receivers, Smallwood and KJ Young, flags thrown for holding.
You're going to see Smallwood right to the right-hand side of your screen, number 17. He's going to pop in here late. As Thomas comes in here, you're going to see the first hold right there on Young. And then the next hold came a little bit later. Those receivers are fighting, trying to give some blocks for their quarterback.
Perine, the tailback. He gets the carry, tries to cut back, and he's chased down in the backfield. Michael Reynolds, the Buck, chased him down, number 55. Haven't talked much about Reynolds. He came in with 7 sacks and 13.5 TFLs. That's tackle for losses. He's been in the backfield all season.
He's third in the Big 12 in sacks, and he's got 5 forced fumbles. He's a disruptive force for this defense.
A loss of 2, second down and 12. Perine. There's the effort we talked about, and that carry right there of 3 is going to set a new Big 12 rushing record by a freshman named Samaje Perine. Thomas checks with the sideline. Audibles out of that play. He wants to throw. Thomas in the pocket. Over the top he goes. That ball stripped away. Deron Neal, the intended receiver. Nice job by Ja'Cory Shepherd, the right corner. Timed it. Ryan went up over the top and batted that ball away from Neal.
Ja'Cory Shepherd was banged up earlier. He had the shoulder issue. Obviously, he was able to fight through that pain, and he came back in the game. And he's a stud at the quarterback position. I mean, he has good feet. He comes over the top, breaks up that pass, just like he's taught. That was a fundamentally sound football play.
Barnett, fair catch, 31-yard line by Harwell.
One of the challenges for Kansas offense, they just haven't been able to get their running game going. I mean, that's one of the things. We know Michael Cummings at the quarterback and the yards he put up last week, but Oklahoma sitting back, they're rushing 4 in the passing situations, and it's first down that's been crucial. They've struggled on first down, moving the ball and putting themselves in a position to do anything explosive on offense.
Right, that's a good point. They had trouble going the ground game last week, despite that near upset win over TCU. They ran the ball for just 76 yards on 36 carries. What got them near to the promised land was a 342-yard passing day.
It was, and that was Cummings. And obviously, TCU tried to do everything they could to take away the run game, which opened up the pass game, and Cummings took full advantage of it. Right now, Oklahoma, they have the pick of the litter, right, what they want to call. They're blitzing. They're getting out Cummings every time he's trying to throw the football.
Second down, 8. Slant, caught. Ooh, big hit on Nigel King. And a little jawing going on after that. Nigel King played at Maryland. He's a junior and a transfer. He had a career high. He had a game last week. 128 yards on 5 catches against the Horned Frogs. Kansas with a first down at the 46. Cummings fires a strike over the middle in traffic, and it's Mundine, the tight end. Gang tackle by Evans and Alexander.
Mundine did a nice job. He wasn't initially open. He ran a simple curl route. He sat down. He had defensive players draped all over him, but he continued to work. He created space and gave his quarterback the ability to throw a strike right in there, right on the numbers.
Mundine came in with 40 receptions out of Denison, Texas. Second down and short. Flags.
A little movement up front. False start.
We'll get the call. Here's Dan Romeo.
Offside. Defense, number 97, moved into the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
It's a little trickery from Oklahoma. Sometimes you move around as a defensive lineman, and you make the offensive player, false start right there, but the referees were on top of it. They caught him. He was in the neutral zone. It resulted in an offsides.
Charles Walker, redshirt freshman out of Garland, Texas. First and 10. Cummings in the pocket. Slings it up high and just over the top of King. It falls incomplete. He threw into double coverage.
Well, he threw in the double coverage. It was single safety high. It had man coverage. It was man-to-man on the outside. And Nigel King got behind the defensive back, got behind Sanchez, who's the best corner on the team. And he looked back a little bit too early. When you look back too early, you slow down as a wide receiver, and you're not able to run underneath the football.
Two yards. Kansas just trying to fight for every inch. Avery knocked down by Alexander, Dominic, and Jordan Phillips. They have dominated defensively for Oklahoma.
Starting up front on both sides of the football. Obviously, we've talked about Oklahoma's offense and their offensive line, and we've highlighted Jordan Phillips a number of times today. He's a disruptive force, as is Tapper. Ndulaway also has been in the backfield. Physical players up there.
All right, here's the question as the final seconds tick away. Will Perine return in the fourth quarter?
Well, I fully expect him to.
If he does, he's got a shot at the NCAA all-time record.
I think the coaches know that.
Stay close. If you want to be a part of it, Oklahoma. Samaje Perine dominating the story of college football on a Saturday in Norman, Oklahoma. Fourth quarter, 15 minutes left. Oklahoma dominating Kansas, but the story is Samaje Perine. 378 yards, ties Troy Davis now. Big 12 all-time rushing record in a single game. Ron, he's 30 away from tying the all-time record.
I think we're going to see him again in the fourth quarter.
On a little pitch and catch on the hands of Avery, breaks it in to the second level. And KU's got a first down at the 21-yard line. Nice catch and run by Avery, the freshman, and a pickup of 18.
That's been a nice little quick hitter play for them. That's a slip screen. You come out of the backfield, you hit your running back, give him the ability to get the ball in open space and make something happen. And Corey Avery did a nice job with the football right there.
Backs are split. Cummings from the gun. Blitz from the edge. Cummings stands in the pocket over the top and in traffic. Nearly found the hands of McKay, number 19, and the coverage, number 7, Jordan Thomas. That may have been the best ball thrown by Cummings.
Well, it was definitely the ball with the most confidence because he threw into double, triple, quadruple coverage right there, and it still was delivered in a place where his wide receiver had a chance.
Cummings, his 11th start at Kansas. They run middle, and Tony Pearson's pushed back. Pearson has not had a day to remember. 175-pound senior. Wide receiver, as we mentioned, turned running back because Clint Bowen said, I got to give him touches. But in high school, he was an exceptional back. Ran for over 5,600 yards in high school. He's on to East St. Louis, Illinois. Jayhawks go back to work. It's 3rd down and 10 at the 20. Harwell in motion. Cummings feels pressure. Throws it near sideline, right on the money. McKay, and Jordan Thomas brings him down. That's a pickup of 4. And it's 4th and 6.
That's a nice tackle by Jordan Thomas. He gave the wide receiver cushion, gave McKay a little bit of cushion. McKay ran a little quick stop. Well, that's the responsibility of the corner. You got to come up, make a one-on-one tackle, and bring the ball carrier down.
No question, Kansas down 41-7. Will continue on 4th and 6. Avery alongside Cummings. Low snap. Cummings wants a home run ball. Oh, just off the hand. Incomplete of a Nigel King. Tried to thread the needle, and they'll turn it over on downs. Oklahoma back at it with Perine when we come back. Stoops and the Sooners. 41-7 on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 college football is presented by Kay Jewelers. Welcome back to Norman. There he is, number 32. Teammates are kind of keeping away from him. I kind of feel like he's pitching a no-hitter in baseball. Perine is 30 yards away from an FBS all-time rushing single-game record. He's tied the Big 12 all-time with Troy Davis at 378. And he's in the ball game with 12:59 to play. Stay close here on Fox Sports 1. History could be made here in Norman. It's Perine, left side, breaks one tackle, stumbles, stays on his feet. Now officially he goes over the Big 12 record right there.
Right there he did. And he's fighting for it. You can see it in his eyes and in the way he's running the ball right there in that play, the determination that he's running with. It's impressive.
386. Got an injured Jayhawk down.
You know, 386. It's hard to put that in the perspective. In this type of weather with this type of score, it can overshadow.
Tevin Shaw went down trying to stop Perine, but second, and then there's the third effort, and there's the record setter. 2nd down and 2. Perine, right side, up the middle, 1st down, stiff arms, hop, skips at the 40. Perine, 40, Perine to the 33-yard line. Breaks one tackle and another, and Perine is perfection. There it is, 427. New FBS single game record, and you saw it on Fox Sports 1.
And he's getting a standing ovation, and deservingly so. Just a dominant performance, and to the very last run, Craig. I mean, just running with determination, running with power, showing why he's a phenom for this Oklahoma Sooner football team.
And Ron, what makes this even more special as he holds up the game ball and he's up on the shoulders of his teammates. He did it in a gritty, old-fashioned way, through the rain, through the mud.
Oh yeah, old school football, just the way I like it. Power football, inside power plays, stretch plays, lead plays. There was nothing fancy about it. Kansas knew what was coming. They couldn't stop it. And Perine was off to the races all day long.
Classy. Oklahoma just took a timeout to celebrate. I love it. Bob Stoops giving Perine and his O-line a chance to celebrate a momentous occasion.
I think they took a timeout so he get a Gatorade too. He needs to hydrate after all that running.
Now Alex Ross jumps in at running back. Ross is a sophomore, has over 500 yards on the season, but I'll tell you, the day of college football will be talked about. Number 32, Samaje Perine.
Talk about the performance last week by Melvin Gordon. The dominant performance, impressive, has launched him into the Heisman picture. And all of a sudden now you come around and a freshman, he breaks the record.
Ross on a nice cutback, stumbles and falls. He'll be at the 28. You know, going back to last week's record, I was thinking to myself, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and get the cliche out of the way. Records are made to be broken, but I did not expect it to be broken a week later. I felt like that could be a 5 or 10 year span before someone could rip off that type of yardage.
And that's a lot of yardage by a running back. And that's hard to do, especially with these spread offenses, the way they throw the football. Everything has to work into your favor, number of possessions, time on the clock. And it happened 2 weeks in a row. The stars align, the football gods are happy.
3rd down and 4. Oh, helmet on pad. Nice hit. Fish Smithson put the hat on Ross. They'll lose 3. That brings up 4th down for Oklahoma. Clock under 11 minutes to go. Oklahoma well on their way, Ryan, to their 8th win. And their 5th in Big 12 play. And each win along the way, you know, you got to think it's just going to help elevate. And this performance will help elevate Stoops in Oklahoma. It'll be interesting to see what kind of bowl game they land.
It will be interesting. This is a young team as well, Craig, and they have a lot of talent on both sides of football that are going to be around here for a long time.
Cody Thomas, nice pass, far side. Neal with the catch and a 1st down. And we talked to Stoops yesterday about that youth. He actually admitted, I am excited. Now, he's thinking about this year, yes, but he's thinking ahead a bit. He's thinking about what he has coming back.
Absolutely. Any coach sees the number of freshmen, the number of sophomores that are getting experience. And Cody Thomas right there, a young quarterback. He struggled all day. Well, he got a nice cheer from the fans because he threw a strike, threw an accurate football, and completed a pass. And these are the type of games your young players now can continue to enhance their skills and take that next step.
Play clock at 4. Straight ahead, Ross is met by Fish Smithson and company. He'll lose a yard. Clock runs 9:22 here in the 4th quarter.
And to be honest, Craig, this shouldn't be a reflection of the job that Coach Bowen's done for Kansas as well. I mean, his players have played inspired since he's taken over. They've done a nice job. Offensively, just haven't been able to get things together today. And defensively, they struggled and didn't execute very well. But overall, he's done a nice job getting his team to continue to fight week in and week out.
Handoff straight ahead. Ross knocked down, 3rd down. That's an interesting point because I think as you see in all of the Power 5 conferences, Ryan, the top teams, when you talk 1s, 2s, and 3s, it's the depth. Kansas isn't at that point in time at this particular time.
No, and you can see Coach Bowen right there. You can see the look in his eyes. I mean, he is a Jayhawk through and through. The intensity that he has and the passion that he has. He knows he's a few players away. They need more depth. They need to do a better job in recruiting. And if he gets the job, I'm sure he's going to do an excellent job at it.
3rd down and 9. Thomas out of the pocket, slingshots it, incomplete. That brings up 4th down and long. Tyler Holmes, the nose tackle, actually broke through and pressured Thomas on that throw. This will be a 36-yard attempt by Honeycutt. He's hit 2 today, and this is straight down the middle, coming at you if you're sitting on the lazy boy. You may catch it. From 36, low snap, handled well, and the kick is good by Honeycutt. It's been Oklahoma's day, led by Samaje Perine, a new FBS rushing record. 44-7 Sooners. History on Fox Sports 1. Samaje Perine, 427. Single game rushing record FBS all time. And Melvin Gordon had it just 7 days ago.
He didn't get to savor it for very long.
No, he did not. Perine dominated behind a dominating offensive front today against Kansas. 5 touchdowns along the way.
You know, LaDainian Tomlinson shot Gordon a little tweet and gave him some props. I wonder if Perine should be expecting some love from a number
Melvin?
of those. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if he's carrying a phone inside those pads, but he'll be checking, or somebody will let him know. That kick went out of bounds. 8:02 left. 44-7. We'll be back. Stay close on Fox Sports 1. Well, the story, and it's just now getting out. College football, Optimus Perine. Record set today. That's what the kids here at OU call him.
Oh, yeah, after Transformers.
Yeah, well, he transformed college football today. Sooner freshman single-season rushing touchdowns of 19 and the most rush yards in a game in school history. Also Big 12 and FBS all-time, 427 yards. Now, he's transformed himself into one of the most dangerous running backs in the country.
And anytime a player puts on a performance like that, you got to think he's superhuman. I mean, just an unbelievable performance. Just the endurance, the strength to be able to run at that level, and just the willpower. That's the other thing I think that I was impressed with. Everybody knew he was going for the record, but his will and his determination is what allowed him to get that.
Well, his yards after contact, very impressive today on a rainy day in Norman. Delayed, if you just joined us, by 90 minutes. This game was supposed to kick off at 11 o'clock Central Time, but we were awakened around 5 a.m. with some thunder, lightning hits everywhere, and the game, they didn't even bring the teams over until about 90 minutes prior to let them warm up, but they were held back at the hotels.
Well, Oklahoma hopes that happens again, because whatever happened in that hotel during that delay, Perine, whatever he was drinking or eating, trust me, he's going to continue to do that week in and week out.
Kansas, 3rd down 11, ball's down on the deck. And Cummings was able to pick it up, recovered that fumble. Rough day for Michael Cummings. Low snap, and in this rain, Ryan, I tell you, that's just tough. You know, you're cold, it's hard to even bend down this time of day.
That, and when you take your eyes off the ball just for a second, receiver or the quarterback, with these type of conditions, the ball's going to slip through your hands, and we've seen it a number of times throughout the game.
Trevor Pardula set to punt. Hangs it high, gets a Jayhawk bounce inside the 20, and it'll roll to the 17. 6 minutes left, and they're still celebrating. Samaje Perine, 44-7, Oklahoma. Fox Sports 1 college football is presented by Kay Jewelers. The Sooner Schooner never moved today.
Didn't move. The drivers didn't move either. They look freezing.
Runaway running backs. I tell you, last week against Nebraska, Melvin Gordon shocked the world with 408 yards, a new FBS single game record today. Another shocker, and you saw it. Samaje Perine, 427, 5 touchdowns against Kansas. Oklahoma with the ball. Straight away running, a couple 3 yards on that carry. Daniel Brooks. They go about 5 deep now in the running backs chart. Why not? Get some reps for the young guys.
Coach Stoops said they got a young man that's in the dorms right now. They're resting him for next year. Said he's even better. I mean,
that's a scary thought.
That's a scary thought. I mean, they know how to recruit, and they get talented players up front. Again, the offensive line deserves a lot of credit as well.
Second down 6. It's Brooks. Oh, he stumbles. Had a wide open field. And he's down at the 40-yard line. Brooks was looking at pay dirt. Got a smile and shakes his head.
That shot can sometimes sneak up on you and get you. Might have been a sniper up in the stands, but again, just a hole looked like a freeway. That hole was so big.
Just over 5 minutes left. Now, I think we got to talk Bob Stoops here a little bit. You know, the talk about Florida. He was a defensive coordinator back there at 96 through 98. But when we talked to him, you know, he said he made it clear, I'm not a candidate for any job. What a great thing he has here at Oklahoma. He's had great success, obviously, in his 16 seasons.
He's had great support. The athletic director, the president, they all came in here together. They believe in one another, and that's one of the reasons why he's been committed to this program. They've been committed to him as well and the football, enhancing the stadium, building new facilities. They're doing everything they can to make this one of the dominant programs in the entire country.
There's the athletic director, Castiglione. Proud to have Bob Stoops as his head coach. Ryan, you make a great point. That entire administration came in at the same time with Stoops, and they made the big hire. And there is a sense of loyalty. That does still play a part, let's be honest, in college football and all of sports. Loyalty is still a word you can use.
You want to use it.
Yes, you do.
And there's examples, and this is a perfect example of it. And you wish you heard that word used more. But Stoops and his brother and the entire staff and this program is loyal to one another. They're committed to one another, and they're doing everything they can to give these players the best college experience.
Third down and 8. We've seen that play many times today, most of it by Perine.
These are plays that have been designed since football started. Simple power plays. You pull the guard around, you have a lead blocker, and your running back gets behind those two big blockers and looks for the crease. Is patient. We've seen it. It's simple. And defensively, it's hard to stop if you're not disciplined and you're not in your gaps. And unfortunately, Kansas, they haven't been very disciplined today.
Harwell awaits the punt from Barnett. Low snap. Line drive. It's going to drop and roll inside the 15. And they'll down it at the 11-yard line with 2:31 left to play. Time for a game break. Let's go to Los Angeles. And here's Greg Wolf.
Guys, the big game is over on Fox Sports 2 right now. It'll be moved to Fox Sports 1 after Kansas, Oklahoma. Ramon Wright, 1-yard score. Stanford leads Cal 10-0 in Berkeley first quarter. Craig, Ryan, back to you.
All right, thank you, Greg. I tell you, the weather's a little different there than it is here.
A lot different. Sunshine in California, the big game. And Stanford's off to a strong start.
New quarterback slides in. Out goes Cummings. I thought maybe you'd see Montel Cozart. That's Millward. Cozart lost his job to Cummings, and that was one of the first decisions Clint Bowen made, Ryan, when he took the reins after Charlie Weiss was fired. Also, the other one was to put Tony Pearson at running back.
We made a number of changes offensively to try to give them a spark plug. He knew that was a weak point, and those changes have worked. Those changes have allowed them to put up more yards than they have all year long. And last week was a great performance. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get things together today.
Darius Crawley with the carry for Kansas. Under 2 minutes. The future of Clint Bowen undecided. But I thought you made a great point earlier, and we've talked to him twice this year. Passionate, wants the best for his players, and you know, as a former Jayhawk, he wants to bring Kansas football back. all the way.
He does, and you watch the way that they play the game. They play with heart, they play with passion. That's what you want. They'll figure out the X's and O's, later on, but they got their players playing at a high level because of the way they play with their heart.
Time for our Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff player of the game, and no surprise, he is the right stuff. FBS single game record, Samaje Perine ran for 427 yards, and did I mention 5 touchdowns?
Oh, just 5 touchdowns to cap it off. The yards just weren't enough, but a dominant performance, a young player that has a bright, bright future, and I can't wait to watch him play football for a long period of time.
Final seconds of this game starting to just work itself down. There's a tweet from Barry Switzer. Congrats to Samaje Perine for rushing 427, setting the new NCAA FBS record. Barry Switzer, of course, he had his own great success here.
I was going to say, that's the God of Oklahoma. A lot of respect. Coach Switzer to send that tweet out and give his offensive players some love, the young man. There's going to be a number of those tweets. He's going to get a number of congratulatory responses and text messages all day long, I bet.
Low snap, throw incomplete, and the clock shows double zeros, and we've got a final from Norman, Oklahoma, 44-7. And Samaje Perine, a new FBS single game rushing record with 5 touchdowns. And Ryan Neese, it was a joy to watch it.
Oh, it was definitely a joy, a special player.
Well, the player of the day in college football and beyond, Samaje Perine, joins us here on Fox Sports 1. Samaje, congratulations. An incredible performance. I'm glad the country had a chance to see it. Give me your thoughts on how you feel.
I feel great. My O-line did a great job, and the defense did a great job at getting us the ball back, and we just pounded it down the field.
And Samaje, at what point in the game did you realize you had a chance to break the record? And when you realized that, what was going through your mind to go get it?
I just kept playing. I really didn't have it at the forefront of my mind. I just went out there and played the game, and we did a really good job up front and on the perimeter at blocking, and just so happens that I came up with the record.
Samaje, you averaged nearly 13 yards a carry, and I'm surprised because of the weather. Take me through the day. You had a 90-minute lightning delay. You don't have the greatest conditions. Tell me how you did it with the rain coming down most of the day.
We knew it was going to be a running day, and with this rain, we just had to do what we had to do, and we came out fired up about it, and it was just a great day to run the ball.
Samaje, talk about the offensive line. And the players up front, obviously they open up holes, but talk about your relationship with them, and hopefully you're taking them to a steak dinner as well.
They did a fantastic job. Them and my fullbacks, my tight ends, my wide receivers on the perimeter. We all did a great job collectively at running the ball and getting blocks.
And Samaje, again, congratulations. Only a freshman. Wow, I mean, it's amazing. And what we've been told by Bob Stoops and the rest, when you walked into the weight room, the seniors kind of just stepped back in awe. You're a man that just has a kind of a presence when you walk into a room and also on a football field.
I give that to my high school coaches. They pushed me a lot in the weight room and on the field, and I just came into college and already knowing what to do in the weight room, and it just carried over great.
All right, Samaje Perine, congratulations, a record, FBS proportions, congratulations, and for Ryan Neese, Craig Bullerjack, we say so long from Norman. Well, once again, the Sooners run away from Kansas. Right now, let's send you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles.